Yo, what's going on, guys? Back in with another video. Hope you guys are doing well. In today's video, I'll be showing you guys how to connect PHP, HTML, and MySQL together. You guys can create databases and the backend of a website. I'll show you guys how to do that, connect all those together. Let's get to it. So inside this empty folder, I will make an index.php file. So PHP is very similar to HTML, so you don't need to make an HTML file to connect PHP together. So when you make a PHP file, you can put HTML code inside it, question mark, and then PHP. And you can close it right here with the question mark, and then like that. So over here you guys can write your HTML code like this. And over here you can write your PHP code. So if you run this, let's see how it will be. By the way, in order to run our PHP file, in yesterday's video I showed you guys how to download and install XAMPP. So we'll be using the control panel, and in order to run this file, I'm going to start a localhost server. So we go to Google, we do localhost. So over here we have to write our location of the file, and then the name of the file, and then the file name. So the name of the folder and then the file name. So we do slash, the folder name is YouTube code. So one more thing, whenever we run XAMPP, the only way to run it on our localhost server is we need to host our files in this htdocs folder, because whenever you type localhost and you want to run your file in the XAMPP localhost server, it will always look in this htdocs folder to see the code. So over here you have to make a folder. You can type whatever you want. You can do example. Then inside this example, you need to post your file of the code. So I'm going to just do that. I'm going to copy my index.php file and put it in here. So I'm just going to copy this file and paste it in the XAMPP htdocs example folder. Because whenever you run localhost server in XAMPP, the only way to run your file code is through this folder htdocs. So now that we have that, we have to go to the localhost. We do slash the folder name, so example slash the file name index.php. You write, so we run and we get this. So now that I open my example folder in VS Code, I can edit it here and it will be saved as that. So I just have to put quotation marks there. If we rerun, refresh, there we go, it works. This is HTML and this is PHP. So you guys don't need a different HTML file to connect PHP together. So that is how you connect HTML and PHP together. You can also connect PHP to PHP together. You can make a PHP folder or file. Do index2.php. You can put a PHP right here, right? And try not to close this, put the closing tag on PHP folders if there's no HTML, because for example, if you do this, then you put like 2 spaces there, it's gonna mess it up. For some reason, I don't know why it's like that, but it's good practice not to put the end tag if it's just a PHP file. There's no HTML or any code in it. So in order to include this file from this PHP file, so we do include, and we have to type the file name, so index2.php. So whatever code is in this file will also be executed on this line. So we do echo from index2. If you refresh, as you guys can see, we ran this file, this PHP file, but since I included it, I included index2 it also took this code and executed, so that's why it ran. So that's how you connect PHP to PHP file. You can do the same thing with HTML. So in the PHP file, you do include, and you do index to. If you have index to file, that's HTML, you do index to HTML, and it will run that code also. So now how you connect it to a database, we do that with MySQL. So go to your local host and type nothing, and you can come here, and then you can go to phpMyAdmin. So we get this error because we haven't started MySQL. So if we start that, the control panel, and as you guys can see, we're back here. Alright, so over here I'm going to make an example database so you guys can see how we connect to it. So go to database. You guys can either create a database from here, or you guys can go to SQL and create it there. So just for simplicity, I'm going to make a database over here. I'll choose example 2 and I'll just press create. So now that we have made our database, I'm going to connect to it with PHP. So the way you do it is you need to use the MySQLi method, which will take in the properties for the MySQL database, and then it will connect to it. So I'll show you guys how it is. So first we need to have our server name, localhost, because that's what it is. Then we have to have a username, which is root. We have to have a password, but the password, for example, is empty, it's nothing, so we don't have to worry about that. And we have to have a database name, which we just made example 2. So example 2 is a database that we just made, so that's the name of it. So now what you have to do is connect to that database with PHP. So we do $con, which means connection, that's short, that's just a variable, you can name it anything, equals new MSQLi. So in the MSQLi method, you have to put the server name, the username, the password, and the database name. So this will automatically connect to our database, but we have to check if we connected or not. So this code will let us know if we connected successfully or not to that database. So we do if con equals false. So that means if the connection didn't return true, that means it didn't connect to the server or the database. We're going to spit out a code saying connection failed, else echo connection success. So if you run this code now, oh, I made a spelling error right there, it's MySQLi, my bad. So we refresh, and there we go, connection success. That means we connected successfully to the database. And from now on, if we connected successfully, we can put stuff in it. So we can write an SQL, which will create a table in our database. So you'll say create table. You can put in a name such as YouTube table, and we're gonna put that in there, which is a parentheses. We're gonna have one column, which is gonna be user ID integer. That's just an example, just to see if it works. Then put a semicolon. So now that we have made our SQL command, we have to execute it. So we do if the connection, we do it like that, query, and we have to put our command. So we do SQL, and we have to check if it's true. So this will return. If this is false, this code will not run, but if it's true, and anything inside this braces will run. So we're gonna echo successfully made table, and we will put else echo couldn't make table. So now we refresh, as you guys can see, it says successfully made table. So now if we go into our localhost and check, you can do php my admin. So if you go into our database, example 2, as you guys can see, YouTube table, it's been made. So we just made a table using PHP in MySQL database. And you can also insert, like, you can put any command you want, you run it, and it works with PHP to MySQL. So this is basically how you make a bridge between PHP and MySQL. You can do anything in MySQL in PHP. So yeah, so that's basically much, you guys. So you connect PHP, HTML, and MySQL together. If you guys enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, subscribe. See you guys in the next video.